Hello, my name is Peter Cormick. I gave 3 presentations at the council meeting today on 13th of June. One was delivered prior to the commencement of the meeting during what is known as open access, where people may speak on items that are not on the agenda. I had actually initially sought to speak on an item that is on the agenda, but it was classified as confidential, so confidential that there was no description of it. So in the end, I gave a presentation on transparency, confidentiality and transparency, and wove into that the matter of the review of the General Manager's performance and the renewal of her contract, which everyone in the Shire now knows about. And as I speak now, I believe that the Council as well have made a decision. Anyway, I was very critical of the attitude that this Council has to transparency. The default position is confidentiality. They have no conception of the requirements of what is known as the Government Information Public Access Act, or GIPA, which promotes the proactive release of information and putting things out in the public interest. But there was no comment or questions after I gave my presentation, but at least I said what I felt I needed to say. And then in the council meeting itself, I spoke on the subject of the dog recreation park in the bay, and that is a real, well, should I say dog's breakfast, but that will be challenged, I'm hopeful, because the motion, the recommendation that was voted on, was actually an amendment of that which appeared in the agenda, though the amended motion that we saw was actually not arrived at by way of debate, it just appeared, and so that can certainly be challenged. Not only that, it dealt with an on-leash park. The whole business was about an off-leash park, and they had a confidential attachment to that as well. So it was a shocker, and I'm hopeful that that motion will be rescinded. And then I spoke on the third matter of the closing of the meeting. At the end of the agenda, Council sought to go into confidential to discuss this business of the General Manager's review and extension of contract, and there were 2 other people, Jim Bright and Paul Bradstreet, who spoke on it too, objecting to it, referring to the relevant sections of the Act. It all fell on deaf ears. I put it to the councillors that they ought to think for themselves, and I was told by the Mayor that they do, but you know, I'm not convinced of that. So you'll see all of this in written form, one way or another, in the Beagle when you access it. Thank you.